walking like a man, finger on the trigger. I got money in my pocket. I'm a uptown player. Yo, what's going on, guys? Asshole Outlaw back again, and I have to address something here. And I posted something about this on Twitter a couple days ago, and I said I was going to come on here and address the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, about this topic. And I think I need to come on here and give you the correct viewpoint here as it relates to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Now, since The Rock returned a couple last week to Raw, and the weeks leading up to Raw, I noticed there's been more and more people that have been talking shit about The Rock. And I know this has been going on for years, but I haven't seen it talked about this much until now. So, and I just got to a point where, I just got sick of it. Because there are people who are constantly, and I mean constantly, saying that The Rock is a sellout. He doesn't care about the WWE or the fans. He's just doing this for the money. He doesn't give a damn about anyone but himself. You are 100% absolutely incorrect on that. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, The Rock is not a sellout. He's not. Did he leave the WWE for acting? Yes, he did. But see, here's the thing. The Rock reached a point in his WWE career where he felt he had accomplished everything that he could, and he wanted to try something else. He had goals and aspirations to be an actor. In my opinion, there is nothing absolutely wrong with that. None at all. And hell, The Rock, I'm gonna say this right here and now. On The Rock's latest DVD, The Epic Journey of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he said that the reason why he stepped away from the WWE and was away for so long was because he did not want to leverage the WWE or the fans to enhance his acting career. He wanted to make it on his own. That's why The Rock stayed away from the WWE as long as he did. But you fuckers think he stayed away because he didn't care about you. Well, you're wrong. He does care about you. The Rock gives a damn about his fans. He cares about the WWE, and he cares about the business. The business is in his blood, for crying out loud. Damn. I'm just appalled by the wrestling fans. I really am, in this case. You got The Rock, and I'm not blowing smoke up his ass here, so, don't leave those comments saying I'm kissing his ass, because I'm not. But anyways, The Rock, he's one of the greatest of all time. Without a doubt. One of the most charismatic and entertaining performers that the wrestling business has ever seen. And to get the hatred that he's received, it's just uncalled for. It really is. And I want to clarify another thing about The Rock. Regarding the whole, he wanted to drop The Rock from his name and just be referred to as Dwayne Johnson. Well, you see, the thing about that is The Rock clarified that and saying, when he got into the movie business, he just didn't want to be referred to as just Dwayne Johnson. He was okay, just being referenced as Dwayne The Rock Johnson or just Dwayne Johnson. It didn't matter to him. He could have had the Rock name or not. It didn't matter to him. But now is the time where I rip you guys a new asshole, because y'all are hypocrites. The IWC, you guys are a bunch of hypocritical, dumb motherfuckers who think they know everything because they read wrestling dirt sheets and other people's opinions, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook or the message boards or the forums. You guys think you have all of this knowledge of the business. You think you got it all. Well, guess what? You don't. You don't know shit. I've been watching wrestling for about 16 years now. I would know way more than any of you fuckers combined. I've done my research. And I don't base my opinions and my thought process off of what I see in a dirt sheet. Because the dirt sheets, half the time, they come out with BS stories about the wrestlers and the business in general. So, for you guys to sit there and think you know Dwayne Johnson, to think you know The Rock, you don't. Were you guys watching live when The Rock had his epic battle with Mankind in a I Quit match? Probably not. Were you there watching Shotgun Saturday Night when him and Mankind had their battle in an empty arena match? Probably not. Were you there live watching at WrestleMania when Austin and Rock headlined the show and they put on one of the most highly anticipated WrestleMania matches of all time, to put on one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time? Were you there for that? Probably not. So, to say that you know, so for you to sit back and say you know all of this when you just read the sheets and when you read other people's opinions on stuff does not mean that you know everything there is to know about a specific wrestler or know about the wrestling business in general. And another thing, you guys are pissed off at The Rock for leaving the WWE to do acting. Well, how come you guys are pissed at Stone Cold Steve Austin for doing fucking movies? He's doing the same thing now that The Rock is, just on a much smaller scale. How come you're not pissed off at Stone Cold? How come you guys aren't pissed off at Brock Lesnar for leaving the WWE for the UFC? How come you're not pissed off at him? How come you guys aren't pissed off at Shawn Michaels for retiring from the business? Why are you guys only pissed off at The Rock? Why aren't you guys pissed off at all these other legends that have left the WWE to go on to bigger and better things? That's the thing that I don't understand. You can sit back and talk all this shit about The Rock, but when it comes to Stone Cold or Shawn Michaels, you praise them to the moon. Oh, Austin was the greatest of all time, man. Austin 316 for life. Or Shawn Michaels, man, he's the greatest superstar of all time. Man, I can remember when him and Bret Hart put on classic battles, and when he was in DX with Triple H, and he was doing all this amazing stuff. But when it comes to The Rock, you're like, oh, fuck Dwayne, I hate him, la 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 la. And see, I think another thing is that another reason why people hate on The Rock is because of John Cena. It's because John Cena's comments started all this about The Rock being a sellout and how The Rock doesn't care about the fans. Well, let me backtrack. Cena didn't start this talk, but you know he intensified it because a couple years ago, I think it was in 2009, John Cena did an interview, and Cena says he has a personal grudge with The Rock. You know, he's saying, you know, he's questioning The Rock's passion for the business and his loyalty to the business, and said, well, you don't fuck me around and say you want this, and then you're not there. And John Cena, you know, he said in his promos leading up to this WrestleMania 28 match with The Rock, you know, he's saying, I'm here every week. Unlike The Rock, who's off shooting a movie somewhere. Well, see, Cena, you're under a fucking WWE contract. You're under a full-time contract, which means you have to be there every single week unless you are injured. You have to be there. You are contractually obligated to be there at every single Raw. every single live event you're scheduled for, every pay-per-view you're scheduled for. You have to be there. The Rock is not under a full-time contract. He is on a paid per appearance / Legends contract, which means he only works the dates that he is scheduled to work. Unless, his schedule changes. I've heard a rumor that The Rock may be wrestling full-time in 2013. I'm not saying that's true or anything, but that's what I heard. But until The Rock's status changes to a full-time wrestler, then he only can work the dates that he is signed on for. He doesn't have to show up every single week. And see, here's another thing. The Rock doesn't have to do this WrestleMania program with Cena at all. He doesn't have to do any of this shit. But the reason why he is doing all this is for the fans. He's doing it for you, he's doing it for me, and he's doing it for Joe Schmo down the corner who watches wrestling. He's doing it for the WWE fans, and he's doing it for the business because he loves the business. So therefore, the IWC, I think, got the Rock all wrong. But that's it, guys. I'm out.